to become negative about the future and destiny of Nigeria. It doesn't. It's the same thing for your job, the same thing for your relationship. Because it hasn't worked out, because you have made this mistake, does not now mean that it is over. It is not the end of the road. Okay, in fact, it is just a blip in your journey. It is just don't mean the end of the road. It doesn't. It means that you have come to a point where you need to slow down, climb over, and then accelerate. Speed bump on the road. Stop, or no, don't stop. Don't stop. Never stop in life. Ensure you keep moving. Okay, slow down so you can navigate the speed bump, and then you accelerate again. Oftentimes, at the we stop. I try again. The people works strangely. So I had to quickly come back to the issue. Okay, so that principle works in everything of your life. Sometimes it's to make the money. You know that if you give up, it's your cup of coffee, or like I always say, it's your cup of agbo. Okay, agbo is a herbal mixture in Nigeria that you take when you are sick. It is very, very bitter. Okay, so it is your cup of coffee, or your cup of tea, or your cup of agbo. Okay, you can't give up. You know that. Same thing for your relationship. It didn't work out. You got hurt. Try again. You can still get it right. You can still make it. You can still make it. Okay? You can still find the right person. You can still find true love. You can still I believe that you will. Nobody is destined to end up alone. Speaking to you from the point of positivity and understanding that life has not been programmed to hurt you. Okay? You are here, particular song. See, you would come. Giving up, like I've said, is never an option. Let me a message that is imbalanced in any way. Sometimes in a toxic relationship, a breakup may not be the next option. Yes, let me say that, okay? For the sake of balance. A breakup may not be the very next solution or the next option. It is one of the options, but it may not be the best option at that point. Sometimes working on it can be a viable option. It is possible to work through your problems. That's why our second point for today is very key. You and your spouse, both parties, can seek professional help. You can do this together, or you can do this individually. But I'll advise that you do it together. Okay, so you can go for a couples therapy, but it is something that is becoming very, very important. It's getting traction already. You can both seek professional help. It is after you have exhausted all of this, and it still doesn't get better, that of course walking away becomes your option. But what you have is worth protecting. What you have is worth preserving. I can say to you categorically, yes, I have. And today I look back sometimes and I realize it could have gotten better. Sometimes the issue you see today as really major will not appear to be very major in a couple of months. Let me explain. What took you away from your relationship today may become very trivial to you in a year's time. So, solution to that particular problem. So, whilst walking away is advisable, it is not oftentimes the best option. It should not be your first option, okay? It should be something you do after you have exhausted. Nothing else I can do. I have sought for counseling. I have sought for help. I have expressed my feelings to my partner. I have forgiven over and over again, because in a relationship, forgiveness, you get to that point where you can no longer forgive, where you get tired of overlooking certain things, not ignoring the red flags, right? Ensuring that you see the red flags and you identify them. Okay, so don't spend all of your time and your whole life forgiving. Don't do that, because oftentimes, most times, the real heartache comes in marriage. It does. Let me say this to those in courtships or in just relationships. You think you can manage that situation now, but I promise you that you can't. That's why you don't overlook red flags. You don't overlook toxic character. Behavioral patterns that are abusive and toxic, don't overlook them. Don't assume that you can deal with it. Comes in marriage is different from the pressure that comes in dating and courtship. They are two different things entirely. In fact, someone said to me that the journey had just started. Meanwhile, they had been in this relationship for more than 6 years. Refreshment and the fun and the after party at the wedding. You get home, you go to bed, you wake up in the morning, your journey starts. All of the time you spent together may begin to count for no money was done. So, you may not be able to deal with that thing you think you can deal with today when the pressure of marriage hits you. Okay, because whether you like it or not, there's pressure. It's pressure to pay bills, pressure to meet up, pressure to meet goals, pressure to be successful. When all of this pressure comes upon you, that you would not believe that you got triggered for something so trivial in the first place. Okay, so you want to be really careful with all of this. These are the things I came to talk to you about today. Thank you for being with me. My name is Dr. Zil, in case you don't know. In case you're just joining us, welcome to Alma Studioz. Here we talk about relationships, we talk about life, we talk about anything that we know affects your well-being and can help you have a better and a productive life. Okay, because I have realized that happy life, yes, a healthy relationship is a recipe for a healthy life. Relationship is happy, you have a happy life. And don't forget that a healthy relationship will breed healthy offsprings. Childhood trauma can be one of the reasons why people have traumatic experiences later. Ensure that before you get into a relationship as an adult or get married, you need to heal. Do not go into and the pain that you endured or that you got from your own parents. You have healed and you have gotten the help required before you begin to build your own relationship and build your own life. Okay, so these are the issues that we came to talk about today on the show. So if you have any other questions, drop your, let us see for being a part of the show tonight. A couple of I can see that now. But you are supposed to drop these questions on this live stream, okay, so that we can take them from here. But anyhow, I'm sure that by next week the production team here would have put the phone lines in order so you can call in to. There's a couple of persons I've said they would have loved to call in and have conversations. Yeah, would ensure that we have that next week so that you can have conversations with us, or with me rather, and we can begin to discuss whatever it is that you want us to talk about. Thank you for being a part of the show today. I am really, really grateful that you took out about 2 hours of your time here with me tonight. I am really, really grateful. Remember that we talked about steps to getting out of a toxic relationship. What can I do? How do I move on with my life? Okay, I do not want this situation to determine my future. Okay, it should not alter my future journey. Okay, so how do I do that? Now, time isn't whether for a man or it is women that get counseled. But I've come to understand and realize that even men can have their time wasted. And this is very, very important. As a man, it will be disastrous for you to wake up one day and realize that you are 40 years old or 40 plus and your marital and family life is still unresolved. You don't want to wake up like that. You don't want to wake up one day and realize that you have wasted 5-10 years of your life building something that access. There is an emptiness you feel. There is a sense of pain. There's a pain you feel, even as a man, yeah, when you realize that you wasted so much time trying to make something that was never going to work. That's why the earlier you can discover if this thing is going to work or not and walk away and go build something else, spend your time building another thing, is the best decision you can make in your life. It is. So as any man, waste your time or waste your life. Thank you very much for being with me on the show tonight. It's time for me to go. My producers and my team here have been signaling me to wrap it up for a couple of minutes. Thank you for your time today. I am over again, and of course you can still drop your questions as you watch, and I promise you that next week on the show we will start with those questions, answer them before we go into the topic for the day. Okay, thank you for being here. I'll see you, so that you can watch on any of the platforms, and of course share with your friends and relatives, and they can watch on any of our platforms. TikTok platform is also coming up shortly, so You can watch on any of these four major platforms very, very soon. Okay, thank you for being here today. God bless you. I'll see you again next week. Good night. Are we off?